Welcome to Inexpensive Arms. My name's Steve, and today we're going to do a little arts and crafts. Now, if you've been around the AR world for any amount of time, you've probably heard of an Accuwedge. For those of you who don't, it's a little $5 piece of rubber that's shaped a little bit like this. And what it does is it seats on the shelf of your AR upper receiver, and when you lower your AR down, the lugs make contact with it and provide pressure, and it'll just tighten up a sloppy fit between an upper and lower receiver. So you don't have any wiggle, okay? I'm a little bit ambivalent about the actual effectiveness of it. Some people swear by it. I've recently started doing it just because, and I'll show you my method. But it's definitely not required, especially on a combat rifle, but on something where you want to squeeze every last bit of accuracy out of something, just eliminating a little bit of wobble can help you maintain more consistency. So here is my method. And again, to go complete with the arts and crafts concept, all you need is a little pair of kitty scissors or regular scissors. And some of these, which can be had at your local hardware store for about $3 per pack of 20. All right. I have, if you're like me, you live in the Midwest, I have Menard stores about every 20 miles and a couple in town. I can just run there, buy a pack of these if I ever need them. And all you need to do is first cut the wedge in half. Man, I love these scissors. So cute. This works better if you have a decent pair of shears, but my wife's hiding them. She probably saw me cutting some steel with them the other day, so I can't find them anywhere. All right, so we're done with that. And now we're going to shape it, okay? So what you got to do is you got to round it off, and I'll show you why. All right, so if you look inside your upper receiver, right there, that's the shelf that I'm talking about. All you want to do is you want to put one of these wedges down in there so that it'll provide a nice tight fit once you lower that the lugs from the upper receiver down and pop your pins through. So we've got to shape it to fit inside there. Okay, now you've got a lot of room to work with, so pretty much you can stop right about here, and you'll notice that it's a little bit rounded inside that that pocket right there. So we're going to have to round off the edges. And the nice thing about these wedges is depending on the fit between your upper and lower, you can start cutting down further if you want less, or if you need more tension, you can start cutting up here. Now I know for a fact that there's a little bit of slot built into this particular, it's an Anderson, there's a little bit of slot built into it, so we're going to start up top, and then if I need to round down the other way, we'll round down the other way. But all you got to do is just round it off like this. Doesn't have to be perfect. Alright. And you just need to get it approximately the same length as your shelf. A little bit shorter actually is preferable. And we're going to have to cut one little strip out right here. We're a little bit too long, so we'll cut along this way here. Alright. So you should be left with something like that. Then you can do a test fit. Woohoo! Still a little bit tight. Alright. So I know that we're going to have to shorten this out as well, which is fine. You know, the thing about ARs that you guys might notice is you kind of regress into your childhood days a little bit with the scissors and everything else, if you're a cheap ass like I am, so. Second childhood, guys. ARs are like Legos nowadays, where you just plop everything together. We're doing arts and crafts. Alright, so that looks close enough to work. And I'm just going to lop it off right about here. So that's the wedge I'm left with. And I might have to shorten that up even a little bit more. I bet I will, but we'll fit that as it goes. Alright, so now it fits down in there. Still a little bit long. So we're going to trim it off from the other side this time. Alrighty. And do one more little snippet off the top here, just for length. And I think that'll be pretty close to what we need, but we'll see. Alright, so let's drop it down inside the upper receiver here, or the lower receiver rather. And you'll notice that if you look inside, it's actually still too long because it's protruding off of the shelf and it's actually touching the safety selector switch, and so we don't want that. So we're going to trim that a little bit more. Pry that out real quick and pull that out, and we're going to trim it a little bit more. You don't want any chance that this is going to interfere with the operation of your safety, and so we'll trim it about that length, and I think that'll be just about right. Alright, so this is what we're left with. It ain't pretty, but it's a wedge. It'll provide tension, and it's rubber, so there's a little bit of give on it. It's hard rubber, but it'll provide enough give to make this thing work. So we're just going to drop it right down in there. Okay. And you can see that it's not interfering in any way with any of the action inside, or and it's fitting just fine. So we're good there. All right, so now you can use it as is and just leave it there, which is what a lot of people will do. The only problem is every time you separate your upper from your lower, you have to worry about it disappearing on you. So to combat that, alternative B is going to be either rubber cement or some kind of just a dollop of adhesive that'll keep it to that shelf. You don't want to use anything so strong that you're never going to be able to pry it out if you have to. But putting something that will retain it there a little bit better. I'm going to use my pre-made piece that I already had because I had a slight rounding problem on this one. It doesn't fit quite as snug as I'd wanted to. So in this case, we're going to use a product called Shoe Goo. Now I'm only using this because I happen to have it on hand. Shoe Goo's okay, but to be honest with you, rubber cement might be cheaper, and you can pick up rubber cement for next to nothing, a couple of dollars. And you might ask yourself, well, if I can pay $3 for the wedges and $5 for the or a couple dollars for the rubber cement, why would I bother doing this? You wouldn't really. This is only if you have a couple ARs, and it's not worth your time to buy, $50 worth of Accuwedges. You can just make your own for a couple dollars. If you only have one or two, you're probably further ahead just going with the actual Accuwedge. But I'm just going to put a dollop on there, not too much. And you don't want it squirting out the sides when you're done, that's for sure. Alright, so now that we have that, we're going to put it down in there. And make sure that there's no oil or grease and that you have a nice dry, clean surface for that shelf. Any dust, dirt, oil, or grease is going to interfere with how it mates up with the wedge, and it won't be as effective. And that's all there is to it, guys. It's now inside there, and what I'm going to do is there's nothing squirting out the edges or the sides, so I'm going to go ahead and lock my upper receiver in there and let it sit for about a day, and when we're all said and done, it'll be nice and tight. It won't go anywhere, and it'll provide a nice tight lockup between my upper and lower receiver. So if you guys are into arts and crafts, this is an easy way to do it. There's other ways to do it. This is my way. I'm just using what I happen to have on hand, but it's very effective and very cheap. So I hope this helps some of you guys if you're thinking about buying one and you have a bunch of ARs, but that's where it is. All right, thanks for looking, guys. And remember, if you have any questions or anything, leave a comment, share, subscribe. And as always, I mirror everything on BitChute, so if my channel ever goes missing, look for me on BitChute. All right, take care, guys. Keep your dick in a vice.